Okay, I'm going to take you to a very sketchy part of my neighbourhood. Up there is the dream, but we're going to take a look at the reality before it becomes the dream. There's a shopping centre here. It's an older one. It's got a lot of empty areas in it. There's a car park that's underneath. A while back I shot a video of a kookaburra stuck in there, and the old hardware shop is there. And much of the problem here started when they put this wall up, which is timber. But once this wall was put up, hoodlums could do whatever they want behind it. This area I'm in at the moment was the old hardware shop parking lot. And even by looking on the ground, it tells me the sort of people that frequent the area. And I'll just show you what's here. Okay, we've got stuff from 7-Eleven, the Slurpee stuff, some energy drink there. Okay, there's a bit of junk, actually a junk food thing there. And of course, something from McDonald's. So even before I venture inside, I've got a feeling for who's been around here, haven't I? This was all locked up. The gates have been busted down for a couple of weeks now. And in a funny way, they allowed people to come in here and see exactly what's been going on. On one side, there's more of the hardware shop car park, but it's the other side that presents a far different story. Just got to watch myself through here. I just spoke with the police. They were actually here just prior to me being here, and residents had seen some photographs that I'd put up online through one of the mum's Facebook things online. Yes, okay. This area is sketch part of town. Let's take a closer look at what's going on here. The police were good. They actually removed some paraphernalia that was left here. Okay, you can see what's here. Some snacky food there. Box with, I'll take a look at that Coke can soon. Okay, a little bit of stuff there. Apparently these couches here are from a hairdressing salon that threw them out recently. One of the mums in town told me that. Whether it's true or not, believe the mums, that's what I say. A nice office chair there, and a more luxurious black chair there. All in all, a very exclusive and recluse place to hide out. Always a lot of energy drinks around. Maybe that's painting a picture of what we're dealing with here. There's something there that the police missed, and I'll have to blur that item out. There's stacks of smashed up things, cement bags, I dare say, from the hardware shop. Lots of broken glass. More cement bags over there. And I think this was collected from what was put out in the rubbish piles. So it looks like the local hoodlums have reinvented the game where you grab a bottle and you basically, well, shoot up there. As you can see, I'm no good at that game. We're going to talk about what's on camera right there. And I think this is almost like a fingerprint or signature of the people who are the local hooligans. Often I'd see cans like this. Just noticed it's squares cut there. Okay, I spoke about this with the police and they weren't sure what was going on here. But I think this really could be peculiar to the people that are indulging, let's use that word there. You'll often find the top of a can. Now, if you're playing with cutting up cans, it's a really great way to cut up your fingers. But I think they're cutting squares because if you look carefully, you'll see this shape as well. Okay, and from the square, then they cut out a circle. Okay, yeah, very important shape, circles. And even though we're dealing with a different can here, they seem to be quite regular in the way they cut things up. That almost fits in there. Yes, very interesting, isn't it? This may be peculiar to these local louts, saying it a nice way. Or maybe you've seen this sort of activity in your part of town. I'm sure you're going to tell me. If you're a bit lost in what this is about, it's really important, the shape that is derived from cutting out that circle there. But I don't want to say the type of shape that it is. There were scissors here before, but they were taken away by the police. I think we've seen enough of that here, just sort of more scattery rubbish everywhere. Okay, let's get out of this zone. Sorry if everything's looking yellow, as fires are still around. Okay, there's some, well, office equipment here, a box there. I suppose you could put it back together and make good with that. Just walking up a bit further, and this used to be like the side part of the hardware store. I can see that they've smashed up some windows there. That's not a very nice thing to do. Isn't that 7 years bad luck? And if we count that one there, we'll make it 14. That board on the ground there used to be on this fence. This fence here used to be closed, but as you can see, it has been smashed open. I'll just progress further forward here. This hardware shop's got a cell tower there. I could only assume it's still functioning. And if I come down here, this used to be the front of the hardware store with the car park beside me behind the boards there. And there used to also be an ATM down here as well. That strange sound above me is actually crows following me around this side. A tad scary. There's the old entrance to the hardware store. And there used to be an ATM in this area here. I think from memory it was a St. George one. Up this end of the building there's not much going on here, but you're also visible via a neighbouring property just up there. I'd say that box there has to do with the telecommunications that are up on the roof by the way it's tracking up there. I've just flipped to the other side of that wall, so this was the way you went into the hardware shop when it was working, and you can just see how putting that wall up, in particular the boards, just stops you from seeing anything that's going on behind. It's weird because the wire fence went up first, I had no qualm with that, and then a few weeks later they put the black boards up, and that's when the trouble started. So you're starting to get a feel for what we're dealing with here. Once you put boards up and fences there, anything can go on behind them, and that's the big problem here. If those boards were never put up, I don't think this problem would have ever happened. Just noticing some spray paint here. Okay, that'll play out once we get inside. That sprayed up wall there, actually at least they haven't put any graffiti on top of that, which is a bad thing to do. That's a bit of street art. It's very nice. It's actually a barber shop there. Okay, we'll head around and we'll get inside this building. Okay, I know I'm safe to enter because the police have just been here. Otherwise it would be spooky to come in here. And the louts tend to only come here during the night time. Okay, the first thing I can see here, it's a blower. It's a Ryobi one. I could only assume that's been picked up from the rubbish piles that were only recently around in town. Okay, I've actually got one of those. They're okay, would be the word I'll use. I also see one of these games here, and for the time being, mentally, I can't tell you what that is. Actually, it's air hockey, I think, because it's got little pinholes there for the air to come up. Hey, that would have been okay once it was working. It's not a bad size. Now, behind that, some fairly rugged graffiti. I'm using rugged in the nicest way there. And we can come around here and we're going to see a little bit more of what these vandals have been up to. I can only assume this was some sort of office area of this hardware shop. There would have been a glass thing here where the person could watch what was going on in the store, but if you're in the store you couldn't see there was anyone in there. Somebody really loved this part of the building. Okay, there's broken glass there. Yeah. I go back here and you get a bit more of a feel for what's going on there. Not nice at all. There's an old Telstra Commander telephone system here. Let me put that back where it belongs. I hate seeing stuff wrecked. Okay, I think that's more like it, isn't it? Something like that. I'm inside this little area here now. Maybe it's going to give me clues to what it was. You would have looked out to the store there, but you wouldn't have been seen. And there's this chart here. Looks like all sorts of plumbing parts and things. So maybe this was a place where special stuff was kept. Going by that there would have been keys, very important keys. There's a toilet here, and they've got a collection of stickers here, dangerous goods stickers. That's quite nice. I don't mind collecting stickers. There's a few there that I wouldn't mind having. Very nice. Yes, hardware shops, well, they'd have all sorts of things in them, wouldn't they? And that's the sort of things that tell you what you're playing with. Although that one there's got me a tad confused. There's a bit of mould up there on the ceiling, and this is behind one of those smashed windows. Looks a bit different when you're on the inside, doesn't it? And let's just see if the plumbing still works here. The toilet is here. I'm just going to flush it. There we go. So at least when the louts were here, they had a decent toilet to use. A local hoodlum area of all the luxuries. Now, maybe up here was some sort of office. I can only assume there's another one of those smashed windows that you can only see one way through. So people up here looking out would have been able to see all that goes on, but nobody in the store would have seen the people up here. Okay, there's some wiring here. Well, if the copper thieves knew about that, that'd be gone in a flash. Of course, some other things you could have been, maybe a computer in here. I'm just trying to work out what is here. Usually looking at cables and things, it can tell you what's going on. Yeah, I'm saying computer by seeing that. And up here in the ceiling, looking a little bit tragic. Maybe from the big storms we had here, that was done by that. It's surprising. That's one of those glass panels that I can see out, but if I go on the other side, you can't see back in properly. And if I flip around to the other side, there we go. There's a nice little kitchenette there. How lovely. I'll just see if the water's still running here. If the toilet was working, yes, we've still got running water, but we've got to save water because the dam's nearly empty. There's some graffiti there that I don't want you to see. If I see offensive stuff, I'm going to attempt to blur it out as much as I can. It's one of these things, what some people find really, really offensive, other people find to be quite mild. Yeah, it's bringing back memories because I used to come to this hardware store when it was open. It's been many years it's been gone. And I'm just showing you the floor here. You can sort of tell where the aisles were, because I think that's a cleaner area, or maybe it's the other way around. And I'll head over to what was the area where you purchased your goods. Okay, so that would have been part of the cash register system. I can see some spidey-web in there. I'll put that back up there. And this was a serving counter. There's another telecom commander thing here. At least that one's not trashed. And you can see the wear and tear here from the business. This would have been one of the areas where you put your thing down and you wore off a bit more varnish, and that really tells you how busy this store was. I've just spotted a feather duster. I've got this thing about cleaning, and I'm just gonna, oh look, I can't help it sometimes. I'll just clean up this a bit. I can't stand stuff with spiderweb and dust in it. That's better. This, of course, is behind the counter area. It looked like some style of cash box here. I'm not really into retail that much to understand things. Still got a key there, or someone's attempted to key it. Underneath here I can see more things that would be computer related. Okay, more areas there to store stuff. And up there, it sort of looks like the same thing. It looks like another one of these cash areas going on there. There's the I-beam there on the side of the store going up to the roof, and in the service area I noticed this zone here would have been business cards, telephone numbers, important things to know. Most customers would never have seen that spot there. It looks like someone's tried to set fire to it. That is the vandals. But looking at that there, there's one that caught my eye, and it's the one down on the bench here. Let's take a close look at this one. Well, this person may come in very handy to me. I wonder if he still exists and does his work like this. There's a redback spider there. Maybe he can solve a few problems I've got. The memories, but it's stuff on the ground here that really tells you what's been going on in here. And there was lots of these outside as well, but they're also on the inside. They're out of basically casks of wine. And I dare say there's been underage drinking going on here. Now in Australia, the legal drinking age is 18 at the moment. It may change. There has been pressure to make it higher. And I'll just show you this glass here, which is the one where I can't see into that office area there. That's the one which hasn't been smashed. So remember how easy it was for me to see out? Well, look how hard it is for me to see in there. All you can see is, well, not very much at all, but you can see my fat camera there, I think. Yes, on the floor here, that relates to the thing I just looked at. Oh, it's been burnt as well, so I've got a little pyromaniac here. That's not nice to see. This here's the other side of the main entrance to the building. It has been a long time since this place has been open. And you can probably tell that by what's going on the ground there. There's one of those weird mirrors that you put in car parks to see what's going on. A bit scratched up. I quite like that. If it wasn't scratched up, I would have probably taken it home. Oops, did I say that? And there's another area here. I think this is the paint area from memory. Yeah. This looks like the sort of paint zone. In fact, if I, of course, paint, okay. And over on the walls there was some different colours. Yeah, I'm just standing back a bit now. Yeah, there were racks of paint behind that area there. Probably a sensible place to have it because paint's flammable. It was just on the corner of the store. And up on the wall there is actually another nice reminder of what this store was about. So there we go. There's some awards that the store had received. It's really nice to see that. It's a bit sad that it's still up there. But whoever was here and owned the building or whoever worked here will get some good memories from that. I'm standing behind where the paint area was. You can see on the floor there where the tins of paint have left their peculiar little mark. And if you were standing here and you were the master of paint, you could have been watching the customers come in and you could have teased them, hey, can I tint you up some paint? But you wouldn't have looked across the store like this because it used to have shelving all the way across there. Again, you come in and look at the finer details here. It looks like someone's tint, what do you call it, formula is here. There we go there. You know your paints, what colour would that make up? I haven't got a clue because I know nothing about paints, and I'm like a good boy, better put that back where it belongs, or else, you know, it may come in handy for someone. Please stick, I need the power of the force to do this one. It's got to stay. Oh, dang it. Yeah, that was the paint area. On the ground here, I can see some paw prints. What do you like at recognising what that is there, eh? So there's been a little puppy dog through here, maybe a dingo, because I'm in Australia. I can see which way it's gone here. Up here as well, made a bit of a skid mark there. Starting to paint a picture, isn't it? This area here was the backside of where the ATM used to be, I think. I think it was in that panel there, because that's the more recent replaced glass. Like the ATM's no longer here. I thought it might have been one that was hanging up in the air. Oh no, I think I can see its area. I think there. Okay, some not so good graffiti there, and doesn't impress me at all, that one. I suppose they're graffitiing in something that's going to be pulled down. You could probably say, well, that's okay, Leo. Well, they have broken into the place, haven't they? Now, I'm pretty sure that the cleaner area here is actually where you walked. I hope I'm right here. I can see where shelving was, okay, because it leaves that sort of mark there. There's another one here. And I can only think they wouldn't have had dirty floors like that between the aisles, but they would have had nice, clean ones like that. I'm just standing in the middle here, and I'm just going to take the camera around nice and slowly so you can see the things that I've looked at along the way. You know, the graffiti's fairly sketchy. There's some stuff that I'm going to have to blur out. But being in here for me, it's actually bringing back a lot of memories. It's been a long time since I've been in here. And when I took the photographs of what was going on in here and ended up on the Mummy's Facebook page, I tell you what, it was a real eye-opener and a revelation of what was going on here, especially the activity, because what you've got to ask yourself is, well, where were your children going at night? Are they coming down here? Or are they places where you know where they're at? I think that's the big problem. I'll just stop in that roller door there because the other graffiti on that back corner wall, it's pretty bad. Some of the graffiti makes no sense to me. Maybe if you know your graffiti and your tags, it's saying something to you. All I know is that the spray cans don't have a spell checker. Yeah, that one there's got me confused. It looks like Huss, but it's got some accents on it as well. I mean, look at what's written there, and I'll be honest here, it means absolutely nothing to me. Maybe there's part of my audience understand what's being said there. It's a graffiti on this wall. I'm going to have to blur out a section of it. This is the fairly nasty stuff. The police wouldn't have liked what was written here. And yeah, it gives you an idea of the mental state of the people who wrote this. There's the last bit near the place where I came in. Again, I'll be blurring a lot of that out there. It means nothing to me. So there you go, my full tour of the abandoned hardware store, and the police were actually taking photographs of a lot of stuff that they saw, which was good to see. So I got a little bit of a database of what's going on. I'll just get out of here, get some fresh air. Mind you, it's not that fresh because there's still smoke in the air. If we look up there, yes, the sun's looking a little bit cranky still, isn't it? I know most places have got abandoned buildings and this stuff goes on all the time, but it seems like the thugs have really moved down here because they got the advantage of doing stuff here without being seen, and that's because of that fence. As I said to the police, get rid of that fence and the plywood which is on it, and it's basically problem solved. So there you go. There was my little tour of Thugsville, where I live.
Let's revisit the abandoned hardware store 2 weeks later.
I'm a morning walk, and this is a few weeks after I went into the hardware store to see what the vandals have been up to, and I see something on the ground there. It looks a little bit gruesome. I'll just get up into the car park here and we'll take a look at what this is. Oh no, I'm giving a break. Okay. This doesn't look good at all. I'll just go around, circle it initially. That's a Toy Story Woody toy. Oh man, who would do something like that to this toy? Okay. This is very, very busted up. It may have been a dog's toy. I'm just trying to do a CSI on Woody here. Oh, Part of me's laughing, but the other part of me is quite sad. That is just, man. I don't know what the red there is. That's got me a little bit spooked. I'll tell you what, look, there's something about that is amazing, the way it looks. But also it's telling us a story, and I'm just thinking it's a dog's toy, because I think it's sort of the damage that dogs would do. Maybe there's something for Disney to add to one of their films when they do Toy Story 5. Another bit of trivia I found out about Woody, why is his head turned around, is that he never has a gun. So he's nice and safe to play with. Wow. That is one of the most strange things that I've seen on my morning walk. I've just turned Woody's head round so at least he's looking the right way, and you can see the dog teeth marks, I hope that's what they are, on Woody's head there. Just amazing. I'll go and have a quick look at the hardware shop. The sun's still looking cranky because the fires are still about. I feel safe because I've got Sheriff Woody with me now, and I'm just going to see what's changed up here. Okay, well, I can see that blower is out of the building now, so that's telling me there's been shenanigans here. I'll just take a look up in this very ragtag zone here. Okay, it's sort of looking the same. I think there's a few small things that have been moved around and taken away. The bottle game that was being played here, that's sort of morphed, and we've now got that there. And down at my feet, I just crushed a bit. Well, there's some of the bottles that were in the bottle game. Yes, hoodlum territory, and if they got rid of this wall, problem solved. Let me take a quick look in the hardware shop. In this sort of situation, to me, the rubbish really speaks volumes of what's going on here. And I'm just going to go up and won't spend too much time in here. Just curious to see if there's been any more damage. Okay, that is still here. And as I look around here, I think the graffiti's the same. There's one wall I don't really want to show because I'd have to basically blur it all out. That was the paint section over there. That there, it's all looking sort of the same degradation and smashed upness that I saw before, I feel. Maybe there's some extra tagging in here. Maybe. Well, did we see the toilet seat before? I don't think so. I don't know, maybe that's different. Maybe I'm just dreaming. I think with the toilet seat being down says to me there has been more activity here. There's actually one thing I've noticed that's different, and it's down the back wall. I'm pretty sure that roller door was completely closed last time I'm here. Maybe I'm wrong, but that to me seems different. It is the school holidays as I'm back in here again. The police did say to me they were going to get stuff sorted out. I can't see any difference going on here apart from the fact that it's still very easy to come in here and it's not secure. So who knows, maybe this is the new play zone for the local hoodlums and they're just going to keep coming in here and wrecking the joint because there's nothing else to do. Well, with Dog Chew and Woody here, still protecting me, I'll make a fast exit. Ah yes, the beauty and mystery of derelict buildings. Interesting place to look at, but not very nice places to play. Let's just hope I can find a place to take Woody to get rid of his very serious headache.